Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, first day of the new week this week. This is a long week, and actually today ran pretty smoothly. Today was, I was assigned to a different line than I was last week. You remember that machine last week just would not cooperate at all. Well, the line I got assigned to today actually just ran pretty well today. There were very few problems, and when there were problems, we were able to solve them relatively quickly. Now, everything kind of fell apart at the last couple of minutes because we were just about to the end of the run of the parts we were running, and we were probably, about halfway through the last pallet, and all of a sudden something went wrong on the machine, and I'm not sure what it was. I left before they got that straightened out. But other than that, it was a pretty smooth day today. In fact, we had 3 people on this line today. The experienced person who kind of supervises the whole thing, myself who knows a little bit, and then they had a temporary person who came in and was helping on the line. So that kind of freed things up a little bit and enabled me to get a little bit of training and actually spend some time reading some SOPs today. So as it turns out, the SOPs never really stop with this place. They're always sending you new ones. And in the last few days, I've gotten a couple of emails from the company saying, okay, yeah, these new things have been added to your list. And fortunately, they were relatively simple, and I was able to blow through them real quick. And in fact, I had a little bit of free time today, so I got 6 or 7 SOPs done. Like I said, I've got still probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to plow through, but they're not due now until the middle of July. So, if I do a few a day, we're going to get caught up with that pretty quick. So, one other thing I wanted to mention, you remember a couple days ago I mentioned that the company bought me a Fitbit. Well, it arrived in the mail a couple days ago, and I've been playing with it a little bit. Actually, on Monday, I was a couple days ahead on vlogging, so I actually took a day off where I just basically kind of enjoyed myself and did just the things that I want to do. It's ironic, some of the things that I like to do are things I end up doing for the vlog, because one of the things I did, because the Fitbit arrived on Monday, and one of the things I did is I wanted to go out and test it, because one of the main things that people do with this particular device, it isn't actually a Fitbit, it's something made by Virgin. It's called the Virgin Buzz or something like that. I know that sounds nasty, but it isn't. But one of the things it's supposed to do is count your steps. Now, I have some serious questions about how this thing works, because normally when you have something like this that's counting your steps, there's an electronic device called an accelerometer in it, and basically what it does is it measures the up and down as you kind of walk, because as you walk you bounce a little bit, and it measures that up and down motion, and it determines every one of those up and down motions as a step. Well, I don't think there's an accelerometer in here. I think the way this thing works is when I set it up initially and paired it with my phone, one of the questions they asked was, how tall am I? And I think what they're doing is they're just tracking how far I move while I'm walking with GPS, and then calculating what the average stride of a person my height would be. And I think they're way out of bounds with this. Because when I went out hiking on Monday, and that was, like I said, that was something that I would normally turn into a vlog, but I just decided I wanted to go out and do it because it was a nice day. And I also wanted to kind of try and see how this thing worked. And I found that I had to walk quite a bit in order to get the recommended 7,000 steps that this thing is supposed to record. I actually ended up doing what would have been 2 vlogs worth of walking in order to get that to register. But I also wore it to work today. And while I do walk around a little bit, I got just unbelievable counts on my steps. They recommend that you get 7,000 steps a day. And I think at the end of the day, I had like 13,000 steps. And I don't think for 1 second that I actually took that many steps during the day. I just think because I have such a long stride that they miscalculated what my stride is and gave me more credit than I probably should have had. But it's still now kind of it's going to be an interesting benchmark to see how it compares day to day. Like I said, there is a little bit of walking there because I walk from my workplace to the lunchroom and to the break room and to the changing room and the lockers and all that fun stuff. And I also kind of walk around a little bit on the production floor during the day. But like I said, I don't think I had 13,000 steps today. I think that's just a miscalculation. But like I said, it'll be an interesting benchmark from now on when I do this to see how days compare to each other. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to playing with it, and it does have some kind of cool things. What you do is, once you pair it to your phone, what it'll do is it'll give you advice on how to, live healthier, eat healthier, exercise more regularly, and stuff like that. And as you get these things signed off, you basically get points, and then when the points come in, you can trade that in for money, and you can actually buy stuff with that. Now, currently, the things I've done so far, that have given me, a little bit of money is, ordering the Fitbit thing, pairing it with my phone for the first time, and apparently I got a little bit of money for walking about 7,000 steps on the first day and 13,000 steps today. So I got about $30 of money that I can use within their system. And I'm going to probably just sit on it for a while and see what comes of it, because I haven't even really looked to see what it is I can buy, but I'm sure it's a bunch of health related stuff. So we'll play with this and see what happens. But it's kind of interesting to see how all this works, and kind of compare my days day to day to see how the days compare to each other. One other thing I wanted to kind of mention: the company is continuing to get more and more serious about this whole coronavirus thing today. Apparently, in the last couple of days, they've upped the ante a little bit and decided that everybody on property now needs to wear a face mask. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the face mask. It's a little uncomfortable, especially when you're working and bouncing around a lot. It's hot and all that stuff. So, not a fan, but the truth is I'm really not going to complain too much about it, because I'm one of the lucky ones. I got a job right now. I'm considered essential personnel, so I'm not likely to get laid off. And I got a good income coming in. So, like I said, I'm not really in any position to complain. There's a lot of people that have it worse off than me. Worst thing I'm facing right now is I got to wear a face mask. And it's like, okay, you know what? Whatever. I'll deal with it. But anyway, I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.